What is up, everybody? Your Live the Project, another great reporting, wrestling reporting, general report, entertainment reporting, all the craziness as always. Two crazy stories, big stories, along with other news pieces today on the show. Hope everybody having a great day. Hope everybody had a relaxing day at home if you didn't work today. Big things happening, man. All things that happens here on TJ the Prodigy on YouTube. It's TJ Time 1991 on Twitter, Twitch, Prodigy Games number 2. Yeah, we having a good time over here, man. It's not a whole lot of good stuff on. Everything's out of season. At least all the shows I like. Everything's compromised. I haven't wanted to see a movie in a long time. Other than Guardians of the Galaxy, I'll check that out when it come out. But yeah, man. First piece of news here: the unfortunate passing of a British-born, grew up in Chicago, lived in Cincinnati. Jerry Springer died today. The entertainer Jerry Springer, at the ripe age of 79, passed away after battling pancreatic cancer for a little while. So bless his family. That's very unfortunate news. And how ironic with this additional story with Vince McMahon, who can't just stop getting sued for so much stuff. And the Stones are really coming unturned. And I'm gonna go into a lot of opinions of why I think this is kind of a witch hunt. I think some of it is kind of deliberate, at least when you start to pick apart the layers and the details. It appears more and more just very, deliberate and kind of what's very planned, kind of cynical, kind of, just aha, I gotcha. It all appears that way. But RP to Jerry Springer, great television entertainer. Who would have thought that he was also a lawyer, a journalist, and a politician of all things? Journalist and politician, two being the most surprising things that Jerry Springer did. Hello, Victor. Victor's coming in, a big support, longtime supporter of my big homie Victor coming in. But yeah, Jerry Springer passed today, and how ironic with all the drama with the McMahon stuff. Very wrestling-esque. The guy that was kind of the harbiter, or the mongular, or the purveyor of this type of just fanatical entertainment. Jerry Springer passed today. How ironic. In the midst of all this McMahon stuff, I was like, I have to merge these two things together. RIP to the great Jerry Springer. Very intelligent man. I think he did a lot of humanitarian stuff. He might have had some allegations against him. Who doesn't? But I like to remember for the great things he did. So RIP to Jerry Springer. Man, a great time period. Russo be like, bro, man, I learned so much from this guy while I was writing the Great Attitude Era. Big ups to the Vince Russo, who wrote WWE Entertainment. How crazy is it that the outside the ring drama with WWE is much better than the in-ring actual scripted, actual planned, actual produced content on WWE TV? Victor said Jerry Springer inspired Russo and Ed Fiera to write the Attitude Era. He definitely did. He definitely inspired both Ferrara and Russo. And he died today. What's up, Retro? It's been a while. I forgot about Retro. I think Retro's usually with TWRP now. We may have Omari and OSJ joining us. If not today, tomorrow when we do the draft. Oh my God, I'm dreading doing this draft. We'll be covering the WWE draft tomorrow after SmackDown. Excuse me, because I actually get off work at a decent time while I can cover it. Let's get into this story with Vince McMahon. And it just keeps getting wild. This man can't stay out his own way. Vince McMahon, what up, G? I gotta interject myself, and I want to be down with the truth. I want to be down with the young folks. I want to say words and jargon like "What up, G? Keep it up." You know, all this stuff. Vince just can't stay out of his own way, man. We should have known a lot of this stuff was going to start to come out. To me, I think it's a bit. I have a feeling Stephanie and Triple H, and specifically Triple H's regime, has a lot to do with this. This feels like a power play. This feels like a struggle for power, because I honestly think that Triple H feels the door closing on him. And for people that don't know Triple H, Paul Levesque, the real life current COO of WWE, he's been COO for nearly 10 years. It's just publicly they've only been saying he's been it since about 2017. This is a guy that Vince handpicked his daughter's husband even though he has absolutely no qualifications or skills. He thought he was a good guy to take over the company. Triple H had a lot of bumps in the road. We've mentioned it several times here. As of 2022, Vince stepped down because of stuff closely linked to allegations. Well, it was more related to sexual misconduct. This is more of just a controversial thing he's dealing with now. But they thought he was unfit. The board of directors made him step down July 22nd last year. And he came back January 6th this year which is quite an ironic day considering how connected he is with Donald Trump. Without all that shit with the March on the Capitol 2 years ago and all that bullshit. But which felt like WWE stuff. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. All these things are coming to light after Vince stepped down. He came back. Now he just can't stay out of trouble. The reason this feels so nefarious, before I actually read the official article that came out about this, the reason this feels so nefarious and so deliberate is because look how close WWE is being sold to Endeavor. And I think Triple H's regime feel the walls closing in, that they're going to lose control. And this feels like a last-ditch effort to try to convince Endeavor that knows, man, that Triple H is the accurate or the rightful takeover for WWE, even though he has absolutely no qualifications. He couldn't monetize a smaller brand, significantly smaller brand like NXT. Why would he be able to control or monetize a global commodity like WWE? It is documented that Triple H, and he was there at the time, so people say it was Vince. No, Vince did not bother with NXT until like 2020 when they went to TV, or 2019 when they went to the USA Network, which I strongly was against for them going against the USA Network, because NXT is not a finished enough product to be on television. Half of them don't know half of the performers or the athletes on the show don't even know where the cameras are. So how are you going to put them on TV? Whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. Triple H couldn't even monetize that back in 2017 when they really give him credit, even though he took it over when Dusty died in 2015, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Like, how is this guy going to run WWE when he lost NXT from the year 2006, the fiscal and annual year from 2016 to 2017? He lost NXT, bear with me, $32 million. Yes, you heard it right. 32 with an M, million dollars. And that just became from they were spending more money on production than they were actually. Gate tickets were like $14 at a smaller venue. So you got about 300 people, $14. With expensive production costs, they were traveling and all that type of stuff. They were not traveling, they were doing pay-per-views, which cost money because NXT didn't really start traveling till I think a little bit later after that, doing house shows and stuff. That costs money when you don't have stars, when you don't have merch to recapture a lot of that. So Vince had to take it over and rebrand it in 2000. What was that, 20 or 21? NXT 2.0. And he tried. That's when it was obvious that Vince took it over, because you could tell everybody had a character. Some of it was kind of goofy. It had that Vince McMahon touch to it. That's how you knew Vince McMahon was controlling a lot of this stuff. And I don't understand how people with any level of intelligence cannot distinguish the difference between a Triple H book show and a Vince McMahon show. You can tell with that title reveal the other day what's something that Triple H does. He talks slow. He talks deliberate. Everything's dry. It's serious. One spotlight on him in the ring. Crap like that. If it's a slow, dry, 35-minute match-driven show, that's a Triple H show. Vince, you can tell some of the stuff is goofy, but he puts emphasis on entertainment, and the matches are generally short. That's how you know a Vince McMahon show. And he'll have people like Omos, who everybody disliked, the hardcore fans at least. He will have them heavily focused on the show. But anyway, let's get into this thing that Vince allegedly did with Bianca Belair, and I think they also named Cedric Alexander as a person that was involved. Not Cedric Alexander, I'm sorry. I'm being racist. I'm being the racist white people. Apollo Crews is who they said. So let's bring up this article here. Who did this article? This was I don't even think this is a reputable thing. Oh, Bloomberg News. That's kind of reputable. Bloomberg is a Fortune 500 company, I guess. So let's go up to this. So this is the headline. This was done today, of course, by a woman. Oh, actually, a guy and a woman did it. Courtesy of Gilbert, last name, and Mike Leonard. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your first name. So Vince McMahon, WWE sued by ex-writers over, quote, racist scene. You notice they put this in kind of like to suggest that it's alleged. Over racist scene scripts. World Wrestling Entertainment, Vince McMahon, and other executives. Is this up on the screen? Yes, it is. And other executives. Let me blow this up so y'all can see it. Vince McMahon and other WWE executives allegedly discriminated and retaliated against a black female writer for objecting to, quote, offensively racist and stereotype jargon using the scripts of black wrestlers, including Bianca Belair and Apollo Crews. According to the new lawsuit, Brittany Abrams, multiple complaints were ignored, and she was pretextually terminated for taking home a WrestleMania branded chair, according to the complaint filed in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of New York on Monday. First of all, there's a couple things wrong with this. Why the hell did you take a WrestleMania chair without getting permission or buying it? A, and B, I have no idea what pretextually even means. That sounds like some modern day ass microaggressions as thing. I'm sorry if I'm speaking out of ignorance. I've never heard. What the hell does pretextual mean? Let me look this shit up real quick. I have no idea what this means. But I'm gonna keep going. I'll look it up later. But anyway, why did you take the chair home? And it's certain stuff. Yes, it's racist. It says constituting a pretext, dubious, or I guess they mean like flippant or just kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Quickly let go. So McMahon reinstated himself to WWE Board of Directors in January and faces ongoing litigations stemming from his alleged rape. And see, they had to add this in there. What does this have to do with the matter at hand? If I was a good defense attorney, that's what I would ask. And that's something I'll get into, how they're going to beat Vince, but I'll get into that in a second. Abrams began writing for WWE SmackDown and Monday Night Raw in 2020. According to the complaint, she complained of racial and gender stereotypes in scripts, including one instructing Belair to say, what the fuck does that even mean? Don't make me, kind of like that, I guess. Don't make me take off my earrings and beat your ass. And Cruz to speak with a stereotypical, exaggerated Nigerian accent was rebuffed. She said, hold on, first of all, let's stop for a minute. Apollo Crews is actually Nigerian, and they should have. The problem with that character was it was dumb and nobody believed it. It had nothing to do with racism. He came out with a garden pick, and everybody know he's actually from Sacramento. That's why that crap didn't work. So these people, if y'all gonna say Vince is racist, which is a lot of stuff y'all can say Vince is racist for, like saying keep it up my N-word while Booker T was there. Obviously, that was stupid. Like having Triple H beat him at WrestleMania 19, even though the whole context and the under theme of the story was racist, Booker T should have won, especially in a babyface versus heel situation. Y'all could have knocked him for that. It's a lot of things y'all can say that was racist, but this crap, y'all are really reaching. This come off as some SJW, let me get my name out there bullshit. As far as Bianca Belair, because we're going to be objective about this. Just because I'm black don't mean I'm automatically agree with black people. And we got Omari up here. I'm going to bring Omari in here in just a second and ask him about some of this shit too. Because this is crazy. I hope y'all get OSJ on here because that'll be a perfect representation because Jason's Hispanic, so he could speak from a Hispanic standpoint. And Bianca Belair says, girl, you don't even go here. I'm sure some of that she was written because if it was a problem, she wouldn't constantly fucking say it. Now, we could sit here all day and say something stereotypical to the cows come home. However, everybody knows people that act like Crime Time. Everybody know people that act like the Mexicos. Everybody know Asians that act like how they had Tajiri act. Everybody knows people that act like William Regal. It's stereotypes that are actually kind of accurate. The problem is when it's done in a way that is degrading or embarrassing the person that's of that race. Like, we all know people are like that. I would honestly think if Bianca Belair had a problem, especially in the times where you actually could speak up with all these open door policies, specifically for women, she would have said something about it. I think a lot of that stuff was written by Bianca Belair, and these leeches, these journalists, SJW journalists, just jumped on the board and tried to add fuel to the fire. This does not feel like an objection. If it was, I would read it as such. Everybody know me. I'm a pretty balanced person. I'm a passionate and pretty blunt person, but I'm fair when it comes to deciphering shit like this. So this comes off as kind of a wit up. Omari, man, what's causing all this, man? What's up?
Yo, what's popping, bro?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. What's popping?
Man, getting down to every time I wake up, it's some crazy news with Vince McMahon, dude. Like every single day, it's something with Vince. Now these people talking about he got stereotype characters. Let me read this before you, real quick, because I ain't gonna read all this, just the important parts. Okay, so we just broke that down. WWE didn't immediately respond to Bloomberg Law's request for the comment. Of course they're not. They're not going to self-incriminate themselves. Harmful stereotype was the next thing they focus on. She was allegedly subject to a number of racist pitches after complaining. On a Slack thread that McMahon and his daughter Stephanie were included on, other writers suggest a black male wrestler should dress in drag. That's been happening forever. Only when a white writer noted that doing so could perpetuate harmful stereotypes that would offend viewers was the pitch straight since said. On other occasions, a writer allegedly proposed that a Muslim wrestler secret in script that he was behind the 9/11 attacks. They're talking about Mansoor right here. I ain't even gonna lie. That thing with Mansoor would have been a lot more interesting than anything he's doing right now on TV. It could have been better than him being a goddamn this model that nobody believes that he is. Like, come on. So these people are reaching. First of all, this writer, this Abrams girl or whatever she is, I hope she was not like that girl that didn't know Bobby Lashley was WWE champion. That Khalees Mobley girl. First of all, yes, I'm all for inclusion and everybody getting equal say. But my problem is, if you don't have a passion for the business you're writing for, why are you in it? This chick was clearly a Title IX SJW hired, or what they call it, inclusion, affirmative action. And I don't even use it. I defend affirmative action when it's right. Of course, it needs to be black people. It needs to be more black owners of sports teams, because if it was any other representative government, black people are the majority of that particular sport, so they should have more say so. That's called representative government. But in this particular case, when this Khalees Mobley chick didn't even know Bobby Lashley was the WWE champion, she didn't even know his name. Shame on you. When he was the champion, she didn't know who he was. So Stephanie clearly didn't vet any of these people that she hired. They just was like, oh yeah, and then Triple H was like, yeah, inclusion. I don't know if you got a TV or something, Omari, or something going on, but turn that down a little bit. I can kind of, it's bleeding into the audio or whatever, or move to another part of the room where it's not picking up or whatever. But
it might just be my AirPods.
I got you. It sounds better now when you said that. So maybe it just need to calibrate. So this Brittany Abrams girl said multiple complaints were ignored, and she was hold on. I'll scroll back to the top by accident. So they said that, blah, blah, blah. Then we came to the Mansour thing. Abrams and other writers complained about comments to which Vice President Christine Lebrano allegedly responded. Wacky things are said in the writer's room all the time. And I know, but look at the waves we're making in the company. 4 years ago, no women worked on the writers' teams. Abrams continued to oppose racist, sexist pitches, she said, and was fired in retaliation in April 2022. Even if this is true, which if it is, it sucks, you have to be able to prove that. That's like saying your boss is racist. A lot of people know they got fired for racism, but the problem is you have to be able to prove it. If it was no audio or no camera, or God forbid, nobody there willing to back up your story, you're screwed, dude, even if it's true. I've directly seen racism, but sometimes you can't do anything about it. Because racism has to be proven, and it's hard to prove. You can know something happened for racism, but you have to prove that. WWE fired her for taking with her a WrestleMania 38 branded chair, but the practice was allegedly a common practice that white male writers weren't punished for. That's another thing that you have to be able to prove. This could be true, but you have to prove. She is seeking reinstatement, damages, declaratory judgment, and an injunction restraining defendants from engaging in such unlawful conduct. Okay, so this is the thing right here, because all this other stuff is talking about all this other stuff that we've been talking about, the sexual stuff. This is the thing with this. So what we have to understand about this is, I think WWE is going to settle out of court. That's what I think they're going to do. Because any other time, WWE lawyers would just bulldog this, but I think they won't do this for two reasons. And then I'm going to bring Omari and ask him what he think about all this. The two reasons why I don't think they're going to do, they're not going to have the lawyers bulldog, because they got great lawyers. Like, you're not messing with, Vince McMahon has the dream team of lawyers. You can't really get down with them. Got too much money, too much experience. The two reasons I don't think that they're going to have this bulldog, A, they're in the middle of trying to get sold completely by Endeavor, and this can murk up a lot. This is a bad look. The board of directors, the people that invest their money, they don't want to be associated with any of this stuff. I can guarantee you that. The second reason is too many, this looks too racist. You cannot, some of this stuff is probably going to be back. Like I said, the Triple H regime, a lot of them are virtue signalers. Even if they don't believe a lot of stuff, which I don't think a lot of them do, because a lot of y'all are like, come on, bro. A lot of y'all like liberal white people. We know y'all being funny. But I don't think they're going to back this, because they're going to want to stay in good face with online people. So I don't think it'll be a good idea. And then not only that, Triple H is trying to nudge Vince out the way so he can convince Endeavor that he should be running the company. He wants to run this company into the ground like he's been doing for the last 2 years now. So I think WWE is going to settle out of court. They probably going to give her, if I had to go with a round number, it's going to be between $50,000 and $100,000 just to kind of get her to back up a little bit. Now, what this girl or Ava lady can learn from this is, like, you have to be prepared. And not only that, you probably just blackballed yourself from getting any type of job in the writer's room. You cannot do stuff like this public, unfortunately, when you're a minority. It's ways you have to do this kind of behind the scenes. When you go public, now companies are going to be afraid. All these new writing companies, especially with companies like Warner Media and all that stuff, that's kind of cutting back anyway off this SJW stuff. They fired a bunch of people that was on the DC teams that was coming out with the recent content. They're tired of this stuff. So she couldn't have picked a worse time to do this stuff. Now, I'm not saying she's wrong for doing it. It was about how she did it. She probably just blackballed herself from any big-time Hollywood writing job, because they don't like dealing with stuff like this. When you get into hot button stuff like that, nah, they're not going to want to deal with this stuff. Comment said, what y'all think? Retro, gender, whoever else is there. Omari, what you think is going on with all this stuff? What you think about all this, man?
I really don't have too much of an opinion on it. It's just a typical of what's going on in this world. I think it's they don't want Vince in charge. That's, if I gotta say, they're trying to get Vince out, but it's not going to happen.
Right. Why
Like
you
Vince
don't
is
think it's going to happen?
he's because he's won a lot of cases. I mean, he beat the government, so
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I mean,
No, that's a good point.
he beat the government. I mean, he beat the government. He got basically Me Too'd out of his own company, but it
Sure.
came back and somehow got more power because now he's like
Sure.
second in charge of this. He's going to be second in charge of his new company when it
Sure.
forms. I mean, I mean, the dude just won it. Like he can
Right.
he the only L he took is was losing to Ted Turner, and even then he beat him.
Sure. Right. He lost the battle, but he won the war. You're right about that. That is Omari's in 18. Y'all. Are you 18 or 19, Omar?
18.
You'll be 19 this summer. Okay, this dude is going on 19. He's smarter and was able to explain to me in a very concise way that most of these fans online that think they're smarter than me can't even explain. We had some dude the other day, and I want to bring this up. Victor says, agree with Omari, and Vince always finds a way to win. He does. And a lot of people, but I think they're going to settle this out of court because they just don't want the bad publicity that comes with this. It's going to look way too bad. And they already got this idiot Court Bauer. Like, bro, give up already. Like, you ungrateful, like, bro, I'm going to keep it clean because this is kind of a serious topic. Court Bauer, bro, Vince McMahon gave you, it wouldn't be no wacky MLW, that crappy promotion you run, if it wasn't for Vince, bro. Are you seriously going to sue him because he's using characters that you allegedly made? Like, bro, your claim to fame was writing for Randy Orton on SmackDown. Who remembers any of that back in 2005? Nobody remembers any of that. You seriously going to put your company in a situation where it could be bankrupt to try to stick one to Vince? Dude, get out of here. You are not going to beat Vince McMahon in court over this petty crap. At least this is like, but with Bianca and Cedric and Mansoor, this is a racially charged thing. They're likely going to win this. But your petty shit, Court Bauer, over, oh, you know, this is some sandbox. I'm taking my ball going home. Get out of here with this, dude. You are not going to beat Vince in this situation. Like, get over yourself, man. Vince is the reason you have a company. Are you really going to? This is another guy. Once Vince, you know what I'd do if I was if Vince McMahon, Omari? And Victor, if I was Vince McMahon, I will buy MLW and pay those wrestlers just to be petty to that dude. You do realize Vince can absorb your company whenever he wants to. He just don't want to stick up his roster of more flippy flop jobbers. The minute he decides to do that, Court Bauer, you're done, and you know that. You have to be crazy to try to go at Vince this way. You know not to mess with Vince. Like this, like he's gonna win, and as he should. If he did all his racial, he deserved to be reprimanded. But he's not. Court Bauer doesn't have a chance, bro. Retro says, funny how it's coming out right now when these things supposedly happen in 2020, 2020. Exactly. That's why I said this comes off as some Game of Thrones stuff. And we said this several podcasts back. This is a move from either Linda, Stephanie, and Triple H, or one of them. This comes off as very fishy to me. Like I said, if all this stuff happened and they could prove Vince did it, he deserves to be reprimanded for it. However, if this is like a petty chess move to nudge him, is this really the person y'all want to be running WWE? Triple H doing petty stuff. This is the same guy that's insecure about AEW, a organization that shouldn't even be on WWE's radar. Now, I know you saw Omari, Victor, and probably Retro as well. I'm not sure if Retro followed me on Twitter. I know y'all saw me. They tried to attack me. I was just muting everybody because I didn't have time for it. A, I was busy mostly at work this week. And B, I just wasn't about to get my channel flagged for this bullshit. I know y'all saw these nerds online trying to sit here trying to make me sound dumb for making it clear that the AEW title looks exactly like that new WWE title. Did y'all not see these clowns trying to come after me? And I was like, dude, first of all, get yourself in order. I want to be like the Rock and just make fun of them when he used to make funny faces at Triple H. What you squinting your face for? Huh? What you frowning about? I just want to tell their ass that so bad. Anybody with a brain cell can look at that picture of that new championship and tell you that Triple H was, because it was probably his design, was inspired by the AEW with that title. It looks obvious that they get. Now, yes, it does have the round shape that the old big gold world title had. However, the ridges, that looks just like the AEW title. And if y'all wasn't such in y'all feelings like Jay-Z told Benny Siegel, you would notice this shit by now. I love having people that start watching wrestling 7 years ago tell me about wrestling when I've been watching it since I've been 7 years old. Y'all will never win these arguments with me, and I'm just going to mute y'all. I don't have time for y'all flooding my timeline with y'all nonsense. I don't have time for it. And my community is going to laugh at y'all when they see it. So you making it worse. So you might well get ready to try to report us, and we not backing down from y'all. I'm just not going to go back and forth with you all day because I got better stuff to do. But you don't know more about wrestling than anybody in my community. I can bet you $1,000 on that. You don't. Getting back to this Vince and all this stuff, this feels very, very, very vindictive to me. It's something stinks about this. But everything we need to know will come out. I'm not gonna lie though, that Mansoor is the person behind the terrorist thing. That sound like that would have been quite entertaining. Because at the very least, you would have got heat doing something like that. And you already know he not gonna be beating everybody with a character like that. That's just gonna be used to get a babyface over. They probably would have bought John Cena back to beat him, or some type of babyface they would have built up to beat him. Let's be serious. Just like I
ain't
thought they
gonna lie.
overreacted to the Ahmed Hassan situation. Y'all overreacted with that. Go ahead, Omar.
I ain't gonna lie, that gimmick, if they was to do that nowadays, I ain't gonna lie, that'd be stupid. I mean, because 9/11 was 20 years ago. They've already caught who? They already caught the person behind it. It was Bin Laden.
Right.
Second of all, it's like, why would the person behind 9/11 be in a WWE ring? That makes no sense. When he be in jail,
Well, you know what? I agree with you on the part that it was a long time ago, but I don't think we should dissect storylines because at that point you got to explain every idea you create. I don't think we should go down that rabbit hole. You know what I mean?
That is true. Yeah. I'm just saying that, why, when the person behind 9/11 though, why would he want to be on TV? That's easy for him to get caught.
These are good questions. Maybe some good writing, you could have called that out. I think John Cena would have been the perfect person because Cena went they could have approached this the same way that Rene Dupree was going against John Cena when they was insinuating that French Canadians are cowardly, they don't fight, they hide and eat bread all day, or whatever that they were writing with. And then John Cena would just kept telling it. He kept getting peanuts and throwing peanuts and telling this guy you could choke on these. This is the perfect material with Mansoor that they could have used for John Cena. It could have been the exact same.
When was this?
This was during the time. You remember when he had the peanuts when he was throwing them at people? It was like 03. When Cena
I remember
first started to take off with the rapping.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I just don't remember that feud.
When Rene Dupree first debuted on SmackDown, I want to say it was between 03 and 04. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube somewhere. Rene Dupree was coming out. He was interrupting him with the dog. He was making fun of. He was harassing Tori Wilson, and then Cena came and saved Tori Wilson. It was some good material, but he was for a while doing the choke on knees to everybody. I just remember that one with Rene Dupree particularly standing out because the way it was so well produced. Rene Dupree played it up well. It was good, so that's why I remember that one stood out. But he did it to a couple. I think Big Show might have been a victim, maybe. Probably Taz. It was a couple people. Rhino. It was a couple people at the time that he did that too. But
I remember when he told Kenzo Suzuki's wife that he was gonna do whiteface on her. That was hilarious.
I don't remember that, but it sounds like it was funny though. You know.
Yeah, you need to look it up. You need to look that up. It was hilarious. He said he said something about I don't do makeup, girl, but I hit you with a white face. It was hilarious.
Oh, I see what he meant. Yeah. Okay, I see what they were going. I think I might have seen that. Now when you said it kind of brought back to I remember what you're talking about. General Mahal, Victor says 2004 is when Rene Dupree went to SmackDown. Okay, I thought it was around that time. Because that's when they had Booker T. He was mad that he was on SmackDown. The hell, what I'm over here with y'all busters for, dog? I'd have beat your ass. He got mad at Eddie Guerrero and beat him up in the back. I remember it was pretty funny. What was it?
Yeah, when you think of it, the Ruthless Aggression era had, honestly, had some of the best black stuff I've ever seen. You had Crime Time. You had John Cena with the rap gimmick. Do-Rag Vince.
Yep. What up, G? Yeah. Yep.
Didn't you have something from Hispanics? How they can
turn all this to a storyline towards the end. What was that?
Didn't you have something with the Hispanics with Los Guerreros, who were pretty much the Mexican
and the Mexicans too. The Mexicans were cool.
True.
People didn't like that they came out of the lawnmowers, but I thought the Mexicans was cool though.
True, but I like Los Guerreros the most because, to be honest, when you think of it, they're basically just a Mexican version of Crime Time.
Sure. They did the stealing and all that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But this is the problem. This is the overall arcing problem with this story that came out today. This makes the online product so bad because now people are going to be afraid. They looking like shit. If they sue Vince, they'll sue other promotions like AEW and probably Impact, the three biggest American companies. They're looking at stuff like this and saying, bro, we can't write none of this because we're going to get sued. This is what's wrong with the product. Wrestling is fiction, bro. SNL, all these skit shows, this stuff is fiction. People are satirizing and poking fun at real life issues to make it easily digestible. This is what's wrong. This is why SJW should not be writers. Y'all need to become nurses or caretakers or work at a daycare. That's the only time where feelings matter. When you're writing a TV show, when you limit creativity, that show is going to suck. You have to be willing to tackle serious issues. Why do you think HBO is such a successful network? Because they're able to take serious issues that everybody can relate to, put an adult disclaimer on there, and sell it to people. What happened to parental advisory? What happened to disclaimers before shows? Excuse me. Now everybody wants to cancel everything. How about don't watch it if it triggers you? How about this might not be the show for you? How about y'all are taking away from freedom of speech? I'm getting tired of this stuff, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said,
man.
This goes back. We're not defending this. We just saying, bro, this stuff has to be breaking down with critical thinking skills. People just want something to go out there, and they just want you to swallow it. One quick thing, and I'm letting Omari say this. That same idiot that was trying to tell me I didn't know what I was talking about with that wrestling belt was trying to. They scrolled down my timeline. This shows you how much time y'all get. Y'all always tell me I'm not relevant, but you spend time trying to find old tweets I put out. I put out that Trish Stratus is not going to work as a heel in 2023, and why? And he was sitting there telling me, "Oh, you said she's ugly." That's what this idiot got out of my tweet. This is why these people need to be locked in a cage somewhere. This is not normal. Y'all need to be sedated and put in an attic because this is not normal, rational behavior. It's a fictional TV show. Stop looking so deep into this shit, dude. It's not that serious. This is what's wrong with these people. But I'm sorry, Omar, what were you going to say?
Well, the problem is that this is what happens. So I mean, when you let these people get control of products, of things in general, things go down. I mean, look at Disney. Disney is an absolute dumpster fire right now.
Yes.
I mean, they absolutely they try the last Disney the last Disney era that I would consider decent to good. That's not the MCU, but that's actually cart movies. Was like the early to mid 2010s, because at least they was putting out original content that was good, like Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen. But then didn't get to like the late 2010s, and the MCU takes over it and all the SJWs. And that's the problem with movies, man. The MC, we hopefully, because I heard it was supposed to be a writer strike. I hope, because if there's a writer strike for Hollywood, that can affect WWE too. Right. I hope it happens.
Which will be interesting because they haven't had one since 2007, and a lot of good shows came out that year. That was the last time they had one all around. You know what? I don't think a writer's strike is necessary. They need to have a massive firing. If you're going to whine when you're getting paid, and the crazy part about it is these people that be complaining make well over six figures. Some of them do. Some of them make high five figures, which is still a lot for a writer. Writers generally don't make that much money. It's writers that's making salaries or hourly wages that regular people make, depending on what level of writing, if you're an assistant, what project you work for. It's a lot of factors. But these people be making six figures and be complaining about dumb stuff. Like, what did you expect? Exactly. You going to WWE, a Republican company. You expected them as a woman to treat you to take everything you said as a serious suggestion? Like, these people still probably think women should be getting them coffee. And it don't help that it's women that work there that are okay with that. Like, they're okay with, like, I'm okay with being a traditional domestic woman. So they're looking at him like, okay, if she's okay with it and I'm paying her a lot of money, she ain't saying nothing about, what makes you think you're special? Of course they're going to get rid of you. Then not only that, and I mentioned it earlier, you're going to blackball yourself where you can't go anywhere. Like, that's what these writers don't. Some of that stuff, bro, you just got to blow it out your chest, man. Like, you know what? I don't agree with this crap, but let me get this money and let me go start my own product where all this stuff I'm trying to make this man implement, I can implement on my own show. Sometimes that's
another problem.
What's that?
Another problem I have, man, with these SJWs, man, is that, especially these women SJWs, is that they constantly want to do what the man does. Like, they gotta have their own Royal Rumble. They gotta have their own, like, Hell in a Cell or elimination chambers or, steel cage matches.
All these gimmick matches and stuff.
Because they gotta bleed like the man. That's like, they don't have to do that. Like, Miss Elizabeth was a valet. She's still known to this day. Sensational Sherry, still known to this day. I've never seen. Let's excuse Sherry because she was a wrestler and she took bumps. But Elizabeth, I've never seen Elizabeth take a bump in my life. But she's still known to this day, because there's levels to this, and they don't understand that.
I agree with you to a certain extent. But I wouldn't mind women being in certain gimmick matches if they were good. The problem is they be finding the most botchy women ever and putting them in these matches that take a lot of skill, a lot of choreograph, or you're gonna get hurt. Let's take Mia Yim, for example. a person that I thought I was actually going to like because she comes off as kind of cool on TV, but in real life, she's the most SJW whiny. Like, she's ridiculous on Twitter. I thought I was going to like her. And she's the type of person that has this idea that girls can do what boys can do. But every time she's in one of those matches, she get hurt. And then she get mad when she say, Mia, why did you do that? And then she be like, she in her mind is, oh, I'm going out there and doing it, so you should appreciate it. No, it's skill to it. Which let's get into let's put it in an analogy that most women would relate to. Would you be okay with a man that's bad in bed just because he look good and he probably got a big you know what? Would you be if the sex is bad? It don't matter about the other aesthetics. It don't matter if he can't. That's like if he trying to talk to you from his friend's car. Like, you're not gonna take him serious. That's not even his car. So these are the things that women don't understand. They want you to just be happy because they're doing what men are doing. No, you have to do it at the same skill or higher than men to be fully appreciated. Bianca Belair, I have to give her credit. She's found her niche. And I'm a bit surprised that this story is centered around Bianca because Bianca don't really come off as an SJW like that. Maybe behind the scenes, she's probably been kind of coaxed by these Sasha Banks and Naomi's. By the way, another news piece, Naomi signed with Dud Pack Wrestling, a.k.a. Impact. She signed with them. And Naomi, I hope you know you're going to be seen by less people. And I like Trinity. Trinity's cool. I like her. But you do realize you're going to be seen by less people, right? Nobody is happy to go to Impact. That's like being happy that you're about to get a prostate exam at the hospital. Who's happy to go to Impact Wrestling? Like, you're going yes, it's still on television, but like barely seen by people. Like, come on, dude. Go ahead, Omar.
I could, well, 2 points. I was going to harp on that Trinity stuff. I mean, I could understand if it was prime TNA back in the 2000s.
Like 2009 or something, yeah.
Yeah, when they had Angle, and they had AJ, they had Sting.
Kennedy and all them. They had a good girls division, yeah.
Yeah, main event Mafia. Main event Mafia, LAX. I mean, I can understand that, but it ain't 2019 no more. It's the Impact that nobody cares about.
Right. That's the place to go to just to that's a tax write-off for Anthem Network. That's all they Anthem Sports. Go ahead. What are you about to say?
Another well, okay, like I wouldn't mind the woman. I wouldn't mind the women's wrestling, even though I don't like it, because I don't like the men wrestling, so why would I like the woman? I wouldn't mind it if it was the Ruthless Aggression era or the Impact or the Knockouts division where you had something for where you have your sex pill and you had the women's wrestling. I wouldn't mind it, but they completely ignored one and pushed the other one, and it's a mistake.
The wrestling has so many structural problems across the board. It's hard to focus on one thing because they have way too many structures. They have problems with the show is too long. They don't have characters for you to care about. It's not a writer for each special. Like, it needs to be wrestling is one of those products that needs to have specialized writers because you got like a Cornette is a good heel tag team writer. That's something he should only don't have him touch nothing else but that. Then you got to have a writer that's good for like mid-Carter promos. You could probably have like a Rick Flair. He's too big of a star. I'm trying to think of somebody that was a really maybe like an Al Snow or like a franchise Shane Douglas. Even though I think he had it would take to be a world champion. He inspired me a lot. Godfather. Road Dogg. Well, I don't know. No, Lap Dog. Never mind. I forgot he's with Triple H. Yeah, Godfather. Val Venus. Somebody like that has good gold dust. Good mid-card psychology where they be like, bro, okay, yeah, you can do the flippy, dippy 620 splash, but why would you do that? It needs to be more question marks added to these moves. Why would you do that? Why does it make sense at that moment? And do you know that you could hurt yourself in front? You doing this in front of 4,000 people in Tobacco Spit, Tennessee. Why does that matter? That's some stuff that they need to be selling for pay-per-views or saving it for pay-per-views. You don't do that in Incest, Indiana. Nobody's going to remember that shit. They be doing this shit in Meth Pipe, Michigan and expect people to remember it. Like, come on, dude. So
something that WWE needs to
go ahead.
Something that like the higher ups in WWE needs to like implement is that when you like say like when a wrestler comes in, like a new wrestler comes in for training, they're young, right? Come into like training, the PC and get to NXT. Sure. They need to have them study old wrestlers that are like that people know it, old matches. Like right. they need to have them study guys like Shawn Michaels, guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, The Rock, John Cena, Batista, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, Hogan,
That's who LA Knight learned
Savage,
from.
Warrior, Flair.
That's who LA Knight learned
Yeah,
from.
they
LA
need to.
Knight said he learned his
They
talking
need.
from all the top guys. Flair, Hogan, Austin Rock. That's who he learned how to talk from. That's why he can talk. But I agree with Omar. And it needs to be the same for the girls. Like, I love Molly Holly, but Molly Holly was not a draw. Why are you having her create characters for people? She wasn't a draw. She was a good hand. Don't get me wrong, Molly Holly was great. She's a great wrestler, but she's not like a Sunny. She's not like Charmel. A lot of people say, why is Charmel in the Hall of Fame? First of all, the 3 or 4 years Charmel was in WWE, she did more than most of these people that's on TV right now. Just in those two, the fact that you hate her shows that she did her job. That's why you hate her. That's proof that she did her job well. You know? So you need to have people like Sunny, Charmel. Who else? Who's some other females that had characters, Omari?
Sunny, Candace, Mickey James. Oh,
sure.
Mickey James.
Cool. Yeah, because Mickey wanted to do the Monday Night MILF. Imagine how hot that would have been. You see how hot Mickey James still is? Like, that would have been cool if she would have did that. She wanted to do it in WWE, but they didn't let her. Like her last run, like 2 years ago, but they didn't let her. Or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you have Candice Michelle. I mean,
or even Francine. Francine's still alive. Why not Francine? Francine had a character from ECW. Yeah.
Beulah.
Sure.
I mean, they had Tommy Dreamer come in. Why not have Beulah?
Right, sure. It's a lot of these people they could have had do stuff. Now they got Sarah, whatever her name, Dalamako or whatever, treating a woman that's never done anything in wrestling. How's she gonna teach people characters? She's never done anything. She probably could teach them how to bump. Yeah. Like, you can have, they need to stop having coaches that don't have mic skills teach people personality. Like, I'm so tired of these people, these Lance Storms and Daniel Bryan's coach. I'm not gonna say his name because this is kind of fresh, so I'm not gonna put his name out there. If you want to know, go look it up. But these people online trying to say Sami Zayn is Marlon Brando. How? Sami Zayn looks like a hobo that fell out of a Hot Topic. Nobody's going to take him serious. Why? He's a decent talker, but he's not somebody that you put in multiple segments on your flagship show. He's not good at that. Cody Rhodes should be, who's good? Let's say Cody Rhodes, because he has a big time presentation. He got the fireworks, the song sounds okay. He actually got like his material on his clothes look well made, other than the fact he's wearing a diaper. His material, his pants and stuff, like it comes from a reputable producer of clothes. However, the issue with Cody Rhodes is you can't take him serious when you see that goofy blonde haircut and that neck tattoo. He looks like a prison bitch waiting to happen. Who's going to take him serious? You cannot take a guy serious like that. It sounds like
even if they
two devices. Omar, I hear. It sounds like I hear myself talking.
I said, even if they're gonna do like the matches, like the in ring, they need to have.
They need to have what? You cut out, Omari. I don't know if we still live. Omari, say that again. You cut out for a minute. Go ahead again.
Yeah. Even if they gotta do the in ring stuff, they need to have them do old school matches, like review old school matches. Like I was talking about, they need to review older superstars. They need to review old school matches. They need to be showing them matches like Austin versus Brett at WrestleMania 13, Hogan versus Andre, Hogan versus Warrior, Austin versus Rock, WrestleMania 17, Cena versus Rock. I mean, HBK Taker. I mean, the list goes on. Orton and Foley at Backlash. You know, because those show the psychology. You know, the drawing power. What you need to do in a wrestling match that we don't get. You get these flip-flops.
I see way too many moves telegraphed by wrestlers. Like, I can see them coming from a mile away. And Bianca, she's the world's champion, but she's good because Bianca has physical body charisma. That's her main asset. And what some of these people need to be told, some of these women, they need to be like, you know what? You have to do this, fill in the gaps. You have to learn. And they even starting to slow Natalya down because Natalya was probably the best at being able to work around a lot of people's weaknesses. She's starting to get bad at that. And as much as people jam on Carmella has pretty good ring psychology. If you watch Carmella wrestles, she's pretty damn good. If you actually look at what she's doing. She has good, especially for somebody that's only been wrestling since like 2015. She has pretty damn good psychology. She knows how to do stuff. She isolates body parts. I'm sure Sonya Deville has good psychology for you. Lacey Evans, for a person that's not as well polished as the SJW hardcores want her to be. she has pretty solid psychology because when she throws that women's right, she lays people out. She actually knows how to throw a pretty damn good punch. And it's others, Nikki Cross psychology isn't bad. It's just they give her bad material. She actually has pretty good psychology because Nikki Cross had a pretty established career before she got WWE to WWE. And a big thing about somebody like Nikki Cross is the fact, even though her acting is not that great, she at least tries. And another good thing about her is she don't put herself on her body on the line unnecessarily. She uses a lot of ring psychology to make up for the fact that she's not doing all these flips and flops. And these wrestlers don't realize that they're elongating their career. This even starting to infect people like Strowman. Strowman's what he had concussion problems. A dude that big, that's not a good sign. When Strowman is big like that, you don't need to be trying to do run drop kicks and all that type of stuff. No, that's not what he is. He needs to be fee, fi, fo, fum, flipping stuff over, going after people. That's what Strowman's supposed to be doing.
But he needs to be booked like old school Bishop, not the new Bishop that like gets punked and cries, but old school Bishop that was throwing Rey Mysterio around.
Right. Sure. 1 second, somebody's at my bell. It might be food. Hold on, I'll be right back. Keep talking. Talk about just what's been going on or news. I'll be right back.
Really not too much news going on. I'm pretty sure something will pop up though. But what was I gonna say? Other than like this backlash card was pretty boring now. I'm not gonna watch. It was like a jobbers on this show. Besides like Brock and maybe Cody, he's probably the only one. But essentially, I don't got no news to tell. But wait for TJ to get back.
I'm back. But yeah, like it's things that they need to work on. Like, let's talk about these belts since the belts is a new topic now. They need to get rid of all those titles. Going into this new Endeavor regime, they need to get rid of all these titles. All the titles look awful. NXT UK don't matter. I find it ironic. Omar, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I find it ironic that the show that you least feature that people don't care about has the best looking belts. And this goes back to how messy and disorganized WWE is. And we're going to deep dive into this tomorrow with the draft because I have a feeling that awful draft that's happening tomorrow is going to probably give us a lot of material. I'm already expecting it to be terrible. The people was that you or Victor that told me the people that was getting drafted? Wasn't that you, Omar?
What time you gonna do the draft? Because I gotta work tomorrow. I won't get off till like 11:30.
I'll probably still be on. We'll probably still be on because I'm starting late. I might not start till about 9:30 our time. Wasn't that you telling me the possible people you said? Zoe Stark. Who else you say it was that was possibly getting called up?
From what I've seen, it was Zoe Stark, maybe Roxanne, maybe Cora Jade, Pretty Deadly. I think that's it. There's somebody else, but I forgot.
Let's focus on Pretty Deadly for just a moment.
I think Waller might be one. I think I seen something about Waller coming up.
Grayson Waller is the only person I'm interested in seeing being called up out of that group.
They did say something about Braun coming up, but he's not. But he's not. He's doing a feud with Carmelo now, bro. Did you see that spear? Speaking of,
yeah, it looked great. I tweeted about it. The spear looked great. Oh, that was Victor. Okay, Victor said it. Okay, I'm sorry. I know it was one of y'all. That spear looks good, and that's one. I'm not sure who's dealing with his stuff. I think they're giving him a little more free reign. The good thing about Breaker is he played their little political game early to the point now they start trusting where he could start having input. He did the exact thing. His father probably hit them up on this. And by the way, you need to take your own advice, Rick Steiner, because you got heat on your son, which that abruptly turned him heel. Victor also said, I heard Ilya Dragunov and Cameron Grimes, all awful people. These people, you can't do anything with these people. Yeah, well, let's focus on Breaker for just a second.
Wait, that spirit was vicious. Ooh, that was vicious. He spared him to the white.
Oh, yeah, the spirit looked great. And you can tell, like I said, he played that little BS political game for a while. Now it's to the point where he can have input and they actually take what he said kind of serious. You know,
don't give me Roman or Edge. He has the best spirit in the business. His spirit's like
it looks good.
His spirit's like late 90s. Roots aggressive.
Yeah.
That spirit
Like
reminds
Goldberg, he has a Goldberg looking spear.
you remember
Goldberg
back
has the best spear.
in 2003 when Goldberg Spirit Christian hit him with that.
Sure.
Ooh, that
But
was
the thing, this goes back to psychology. The thing with the spear is it has to look right. You have to do it with the right person, and the timing has to be on point. Like if you do it bad or the time is off, it's gonna look shitty, even if it's a person with a good spear. Because Goldberg had some bad looking spears, but they usually wasn't his fault. It was the person that was taking it; they didn't take it right.
yeah.
But he does overall. When you measure everybody that's done spears, which has been hundreds of people, he has the best looking one. Not hundreds, but tens of people. It's been too many. Breaker being called up will be this is the right time. Um, they got him locked up in this Carmelo Hayes stuff. They still kind of playing this cruiserweight game with him, but he's smart where he's just going with it, where at least he can have input. Because if he would have came in and kind of threw his attitude around, he wouldn't have lasted long. Which is there was their point. Triple H's like, I'm gonna break his spirit. That was his goal. Because he don't like anybody with muscles that has confidence. He's gonna break you down. And if anybody think I'm crazy, go look back all the people that never got over on Triple H. Kane never got over him. RVD never got on him. Goldberg barely got over. He took the belt right back, a month later after Goldberg got it? Come on. Nobody ever got over on Triple H. Who's ever got over? He just couldn't try that crap with John Cena. He could have, but it wasn't going to work. That was Vince's boy by 2006. He was not getting away with that. If he had his way, he would have beat John Cena at WrestleMania 22. I guarantee you he would have.
Well,
Vince just wasn't going for that shit.
Well, he kind of did. Like by then, Cena had pretty much became the top guy, but Triple H, he kind of did. Like, if you go back and watch like some of that WrestleMania 22 stuff, Triple H, he was kind of burying Cena. Like, not only because one, it was that should have been Cena and Edge at WrestleMania 22. It made sense. And plus, when you
it
think
could have been, yeah,
because Cena was starting to get booed in 05, but him feuding with Edge in early 06 got people back on their side.
Sure.
But Triple H had to jump in, and he had to get that main event spot. Even though he was all over the spotlight for like 7 years at that point, which is why I'm confused why the Chicago fans were wanting him to win. I'm like, what? I'm like, this same guy that's been everywhere. He's been in the main event for years. Like,
sure.
Like, you want this guy to win, but that's right for another day. But like, yeah, he had to get that main event spot, and him facing Cena, him doing a little shoot stuff and trying to act cool, get the fans on the side, got Cena booed again. Whereas if you would have did Cena on the Edge, he probably would have got a little bit. He probably would have got booed, but not as bad as he did that night.
I wouldn't have been okay with Cena versus Edge for the belt because they picked that back up maybe down a line at some point. That Cena Edge 06 feud was very undercooked. Like they could have got a decent amount out of that. Maybe they could have took a break for a year and picked back up on it.
Yeah.
No, actually, that was the only time they worked with each other. And well, they worked again like years later, but it wasn't as significant. We already know Triple H always buried Edge because look when Edge finally went single, like around what was that 08, 09, Triple H went to SmackDown and took the belt, which they already knew Triple H hated being on SmackDown. Every time he got on SmackDown, he got traded right back to Raw or whatever.
Yeah, like, I mean, look at it, like like Edge and Cena, they pretty much were like Cena became once he went to Raw, he became Vince's boy. So he wasn't going to usurp him as the guy.
Yeah, he wasn't. But if Triple H had his way, even Rikishi, I think maybe the mid 2000s, late 2000s, something like that. He went on one of those shoot interviews. It was probably with RF something. He went on there, was like he even said, I think the fans are getting tired of Triple H having belts all the time. Rikishi publicly said that, which is a bit of surprise that the Usos didn't get buried after they said that. But I think Vince likes the Usos. He's loyal to the Samoan family because you know how much money they make.
I brought that up. I'm still confused of why why fans want Triple H to win at WrestleMania 22. It's like
it was a weird crowd, man. It was a weird crowd.
Like, can't we have enough of this guy? I mean, this guy's been like, look what he did to Randy Orton.
But I'm okay with that because it was only one show. Like, if it was like a multiple, after that, they was right back to like, yeah, Triple H, you just tired, bro. It was just that one night, so it wasn't. And this goes back to the similarities that I think Cody Rhodes and Triple H have, which is why I don't like neither one of them. They have this ability to leech off other people's ideas and make it seem like it's theirs. You notice that Cody Rhodes is a mini Triple H. Even though he did that pretentious, I'm breaking his throne and all that crap. Bro, you're another Triple H. Look at the similarities of their careers. Cody leached off his father, the Young Bucks, and pretty much everybody else on the Indies. Not too many original ideas. Solid mid-Carter. It should have stopped there. Triple H little bit above mid Carter. He stole the franchise Shane Douglas's The Game character that he did in ECW. He even took almost a similar look with the backwards black cap, the leather coat. Shane Douglas was doing that already.
And
So
Stephanie was his version of Francine.
basically, it was almost the exact same thing.
And
Triple H leached off DX's popularity, even in 2006 and 2009. It's the same career trajectory.
Yeah, like, and speaking of that, like when people want to say Triple H was the best member of DS, it's like, no, he wasn't.
No, he was not.
7 and 98, it was in 97. It was Shawn in the OG, and then in the second version, the Outlaws, specifically Road Dogg, really got DS over.
Sure. Triple H fit the group, but he wasn't the best person. Yeah. Triple H was like the muscle of the group. He was all right. He had his moments. Jim Cornette summarized the best thing with Triple H when he said Triple H is the guy that works with the guy. That was the best summary you can give a Triple H.
I mean, because like after left and after WrestleMania 14, it was Road Dogg that really got over DX.
Sure. And even when they went to Impact with that goofy Voodoo Kin Mafia stuff, Road Dogg was very instrumental in that.
Yeah.
And Russo's writing, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Triple H, it's like there's a lot of look at Randy Orton, Triple H. Like Randy Orton beat Benoit at SummerSlam 04. Triple H had to come in and get the title again. Yeah, he tried to him and Vince try to say, oh, Randy Orton had backstage problems, which he did. But it's like, come on, bro.
He had backstage problems before they gave him the title. That didn't stop him from all the other stuff he did. That didn't stop him from being an Evolution. That's dumb. Like, you already know that was just Triple H. But I don't think he's ready. He just wanted the belt back. That's all it was. Randy Orton's behavior was well documented prior to him getting that title. Come on, that's dumb.
The only good thing that came out of it was Batista becoming the top guy. Was Batista beating 21? That's the
because I'm not gonna lie. I don't like the belt going back to Triple H, but Randy Orton was not a good babyface at the time. He was not. He was always been a natural heel. He does not work. His best run was when he was crazy and he was trying to blow up John Cena in 2007. That was the best thing he did. And when him punting people in the head, that was his best run. From 07 to 09 was Randy Orton's best run.
If they were smart, they should have just had Randy Orton overthrow Triple H as the leader because when you really think of it, Randy Orton was the champion, not Triple H. So that means Randy Orton should. You know how The Rock overthrew Farouk in '98? That should have been how it was. And Triple H could have been back to a babyface.
But I think the thing is, Randy Orton's not a strong talker like that. He's a decent talker, but neither him or Triple H. I would rather Ric Flair got that belt. He was still able to wrestle. They should have put it on Ric Flair. Ric Flair was the clear leader of that group. He's the best talker, and his wrestling looks pretty believable for a flabby old man. I would have rather Ric Flair got the title. Because at least he can talk and bring people in the building. But Triple H, now when I'm thinking about Randy Orton, I would have rather it be Ric Flair than Randy Orton. Randy Orton was all right.
Or they should have gave the belt to Jericho because he was pretty over as a face after Trish turned 20.
Maybe Jericho, maybe. Yeah,
I mean, at the time the roster was like,
it couldn't have hurt. Jericho wouldn't have hurt at the time. Yeah, he had some momentum because that concert he did with Cena was actually quite well received. I remember people really anticipating that, and then he had the go home situation. Jericho had a nice run towards the end of 05. Before he took that break in the summer, he had a good run. And I've never been the biggest Jericho. I don't buy into he's the GOAT and all. He's a great performer, but you're not the GOAT. The GOAT in wrestling name is The Rock. That's who the GOAT was. He transcended everything else. He's the best talker, the most memorable. He's who people think of when they think of wrestling. The GOAT of wrestling is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It is nobody else. Stone Cold is known only in WWE. Hogan was good, but most people forgot about him after like 2003. The Rock is the GOAT. Hogan is still an icon. Don't get me wrong. He's still fucking Hulk Hogan. But he didn't make no movies like The Rock made. The GOAT of wrestling is The Rock. I think that's a pretty fair conclusion. And the only person that can come close to that is Ric Flair because how culturally relevant he is. When you got songs with goddamn the Migos at like 70 years old, like, come on, bro. You know Ric Flair is the man. You got a Ric Flair drip. That is like a meme and saying now. Come on, you know.
Which is odd to play that, but that.
They should have put that on like that should be used a lot more in WWE. But they're petty assholes, so they won't do it. Which goes to the belt. Like, bro, how y'all gonna that WWE title looks awful. It looked like that should have been like a scrapped idea that shouldn't have never made the final cutting board. Y'all put that goofy out of place W in the middle of all that gaudy gold that you could barely like. it looked like they started off with something decent and they just added some weird stuff
Oh,
towards the end.
bring back
Like
the scratch logo.
the what?
Why can't they just bring the scratch logo back? I'm tired of this little shiny, logo that they've
Right.
been 10 years.
Well, I don't think they want to be associated with that era no more. Even if they don't bring back the scratch belt, how about you don't put it on the main plate at all? Put it on the side plates because it's
I mean,
barely
the
noticeable,
logo was used.
especially if you're wearing the belt. Like it's barely noticeable.
I mean, I can
What's that?
understand they don't want to use the scratch logo because it's associated with the more violent attitude era, discretion era. But
Right.
you use it in the PG era.
Right.
They used
But
it.
no, so much changed since the PG era. That Benoit situation screwed them, dude. Like it's so hard to justify a lot. That's why all the hardcore matches, not only are they oversaturated, the hardcore matches look awful because those props are like really, really safe. Like the
Speaking
kendo
of,
sticks don't look the same no more. The tables look like construction paper. Like it's an obvious change in the stuff that they use.
do you think
Hardcore
the
matches like when I was watching that trunk fight, it looked goofy. Those table spots looked goofy. It like they was being dropped on cardboard boxes or something. It looked dumb. But go ahead, what you said.
I got a question for you because I've always theorized this. Do you think the Benoit tragedy could have could have took it down Vince in the WWE? I think there's a possibility it
If
could.
they would have, if Vince, if all the stuff they're saying about him now came out back then, yes, he would have been done. He would have been. If all this stuff right now up until this point came out, he would have been done. They would have. He would have had to. He still would have worked there, but he wouldn't have been. We would have never got Durag. No, that would have been that God. Honestly, I thought that God thing was gonna put him under the table. I'm like, he has to be crazy doing this. But that was before everybody became fanatical. Twitter wasn't a thing yet, so no. The world was a lot less jaded back then. So it could
I
have. It very possibly could have. If all this stuff happened, yeah, it could have.
I think if they didn't go PG and they kept doing a lot of stuff they were doing, I think it could have because the media would have went on them harder. And plus, you know how they're saying when there's blood in the water, the sharks come out. You could have had some guy that had beef with Vince in like 1984, and then he comes out and say Vince like raped him or something like that, and then it comes back to WWE, then the media, and then like what's it called, stockholders and all of them. It's what people don't think about when they talk when it like I don't like the PG era, but I mean, be honest, it was necessary at the time. I mean, they had no choice. I mean, to
The
get away.
biggest positive that came out of the PG era was a lot of people are still alive. It saved a lot of people's lives. Like the PG era saved a bunch of people's lives, which is because people was wilding out on drugs and alcohol. The wellness policy was like a joke. So it definitely saved a lot of people's lives.
Yeah,
I would say that's the only positive that came out of the PG era.
like
Everything else it made wrestling worse,
I
basically.
agree. I agree, but like like you gotta. Like I don't like the PG era. I mean, a lot of people complain about PG Cena or in the like a lot of stuff that happened during the PG era. I mean, but you gotta understand though that I mean, if the WWE kept doing like what they were doing in the Attitude Era, Restoration Era, which they were getting criticized for already in the media,
Yeah.
if they would have kept doing that, they honestly they would have kept getting grilled in the media harder.
Right. I think the 15 years that they took off was more than enough to clean their image up.
Yeah,
This Vince stuff is going to fade in 2 or 3 months. Most people, unless they're reminded by these predator journalists that got agendas, bro, y'all not going to sit here and convince me that some of y'all not racist, some of y'all not sexist, some of y'all not cutthroat. Y'all like it's not this positive kumbaya circle. I'm pretty sure y'all got y'all office politics at them journalism buildings too. You gonna cut the person neck that's in spot for the senior writer or whatever next promotion. Stop this crap, bro. I'm a human being with good critical thinking skills. You're not gonna sit here and convince me that they not cutthroat too. They just trying to get their career made by stepping on Vince, and he deserves a lot of it. I'm not saying he don't. However, if these predator so-called journalists were not keeping this on social media, most people forgot about this crap already. You know why? Because they have phones and technology move fast. They learned something new already by then, be it a dance, something actual useful, or they just moved on to something else. They watching, YouTube shorts. They don't remember this stuff. If these people weren't constantly putting that's how you look. I've never seen how you look. Now I've actually seen how you look. Okay. Yeah, if these people weren't keeping this stuff kind of in the you wear glasses, man? I would have never thought you wore glasses. But if they weren't keeping this stuff in the mainstream, it wouldn't even happen, brother. This I'm trying to see if we mention everything because I don't want to go too long because I want to cover a lot of this tomorrow in long form, and I don't want the shows to be repetitive. And I haven't eaten since I've been home, so we probably gonna wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. Thank everybody that's been here. Smash that sub button. I want to say thank y'all to people who have, but some of y'all don't have y'all profiles public on YouTube, so I can't tell you who you are. Please don't be weird. Have a public profile picture because I don't like people subbing to my channel and I don't know who you are. That's fucking weird. So yeah, this draft looks awful. We're gonna deep dive into this draft tomorrow. Unfortunately, Omari gets off at 11, but we'll probably catch him towards the tail end of doing that. Maybe we can catch him in the middle of work when he can go sneak in the bathroom real quick or something. I don't know, and get his take if because I plan on going at least 2 hours tomorrow for that show. But to wrap all this up, man, with the lady, if you can prove all of it, Vince can go down. Bro, all the people that's behind this, that's not actual journalists, that think they're like, the moral high road people, dude, stop taking wrestling so seriously. Go outside, touch grass, get some air, have normal conversations with people, because the problem is y'all have 2 tabs open: porn and wrestling. That's the only 2 bubbles y'all live in constantly. What's that?
Another problem is just like these liberals who take everything so serious is annoying. These conservatives and Republicans who are just the same. Look at like these TikTok videos of like 15-year-olds doing dumb stuff. I mean, like, for God's sakes, bro, isn't like, why are you getting so serious about it? Like, who cares?
Montana just banned TikTok like last week or the week before. They banned TikTok in Montana. Like, what? You know what I mean? But it happened. Yep.
Why?
I guess they don't want. Don't get me wrong. It's certain parts of TikTok that children shouldn't be exposed to.
I agree.
It is certain things on that they absolutely should not be exposed.
Like I said before, it's the parents. It's like the restricted. Why? Just because the parents don't don't raise their kids. Why everybody gotta suffer? It's like these retards that say the internet should, like, they say we should cancel the internet. I'm like, what?
No, we shouldn't cancel the internet. How about you don't go on stuff that you're not supposed to be on? That sounds like a better reaction to what you're talking about.
Like, but like, and plus, like, there's a lot of things, like a lot of benefits we have got with the internet that we didn't have 30 years ago. Like, bro, are you like
you actually can go somewhere and not get robbed because it got reviews on the if the place is reputable, if this club is safe, if this food is good, if this product is durable. Like, it has reviews now.
Yeah, bro.
That's the biggest takeaway from the internet.
Make money. You can make millions of dollars from your house. You can make dollars from your house just because the internet. You want to cancel that? I agree that the internet has helped hurt society from like where a social issue.
Sure.
But again, like these people, man. Again, if you do that, you can still have social media, internet. It starts with the parents.
It's all about self-discipline, and like Omari says,
yes, man.
That's all it comes down to.
Don't think these retarded conservatives don't understand. That's why I don't like neither. That's why I don't want to. I neither. They're just stupid. It's like instead of trying to get it banned for everyone. Like, why does everybody got suffered?
Sure.
Like,
but the good thing about that, Omari, is it's not going to stick. Like, people aren't going to go for that stuff, man. It's not. Yeah, it's like not going to stick.
It's like that's like blaming. That's like somebody. That's like in the 90s. People saying, "Oh, it's some video games." Like, we need to ban video games.
Like GTA and stuff like that. They tried to ban Doom too. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, remember how they try to go after Beavis and Butthead? The episode with the fire. I'm like,
Mortal Kombat too, because of the fatalities. They tried to go out.
Trying to cancel the Attitude Era.
How about y'all just censor what y'all kids are consuming? That's
man.
Exactly. More logical response to it.
It starts with the parents. I will keep saying this. It starts with the parent.
Sure.
The parent. A lot of these parents just give their kids phones. That's the problem. That's the problem. How about we try to fix that instead of making everybody suffer on the internet?
Sure.
Okay, go back to the old world. We go back to the old world, right? I mean, it will prove some aspects like socially people get better, more kids, more people go outside more. I mean, but we also lose a lot of things that we value in today's world.
Sure.
These people don't think we need a mix. We need a bit of the old world and the new world. We need the happy medium. That's the only way it's gonna work. You can't cancel the new world.
Just starting to tweak a little bit. I think we lost Omari, and it's starting to slow down a little bit on mine. maybe this is a sign for us to get off. Thank for everybody to get here for being here, I should say. This is a real sticky situation with the whole WWE thing. Thank Omari. I'm not sure on my end. It's starting to slow down a little bit too. Sometimes StreamYard's kind of iffy. Good, great discussion. Happy to have Omari or anybody come on. We're gonna get OSJ next time. We'll get his opinion. He'll probably be on tomorrow, maybe, or whenever he gets someone asks his opinion about this if it's still relevant. In conclusion, man, that WWE is in a real sticky situation, man. Chairman's constantly in trouble for just controversial craziness, and he really let his power get to his head, man. We'll see how this goes. As far as the content involved, if Bianca's don't have an issue with saying whatever the verbiage is, if Apollo Crews don't have an issue with it, if Mansoor don't have an issue with playing that Arab character or whatever, this is all good fun TV. What people forget or that they don't remember is television was designed for you to relax. It was designed for you to be entertainment, for you to get about the everyday stresses. That's why political satire was so good. Mad TV was good during this time, and Living Color was good. The people that like SNL was good. That's why South Park is so good for how long. That's why the Chappelle Show was so good. This is what people need to understand. All this virtue signaling and all that, people see right through that. I definitely do. And I'm just going to keep making you mad because I'm going to call you out for it. You don't have to like me. I'm always going to speak truth to power. The world doesn't revolve around you, so I honestly don't care if you don't like me. Like, I like that you have an opinion about what I think or dislike. We don't have to always like or dislike each other. I'm a very polarizing person. I'll be the first person to tell you that. However, you cannot deny that I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time. I do thorough research. I try to be as entertaining but also informative as possible. But this feels like a farce to me. This seems like a witch hunt with the Vince thing. Like I said, I can't stress this enough. If this man is wrong, all of this stuff will come out. Every single thing about it. Vince, dude, you have to stop being crazy. Stop doing dumb stuff. You are getting ready to make the biggest business decision that you made in a long time. Like you kept saying in an interview 2 weeks ago, this is the biggest decision for WWE. I mean, I can't, this is live quality content. All that stuff you were saying, that mumbo jumbo, why sacrifice that just to be petty? If the talent aren't comfortable with this material, find a more clever way or give them alternative. Okay, maybe we could say this or that. Why is that so hard to do? Like, why does everybody have to be so set? Complacency and stubbornness ruins creativity. You have to take other people's input. You have to be willing to listen. That's how you keep your product fresh. Sometimes people have better ideas than you. Don't be that petty person that take their ball and go home. Vince, everybody needs to learn something from this. Bianca's been on a great run. Apollo's been, I don't know what that man's been doing. I think I call him Cedric by accident. I'm sorry, I've been saying Apollo. Y'all have very similar characters. It's not because y'all black. Y'all just have very similar characters. That it's a lesson to be learned out of all this. This is crazy. But get better. Everybody involved. Hopefully it comes out. I think WWE's going to settle out of court. That's the most logical thing for them to do. You don't want to fight this because the more the people get this online and decipher it, just be done with it, dude. The lady that thing, I'm glad she spoke out. It took courage, but she might have put herself in a compromising situation. Your best bet at this point is probably take that money and start your podcast and talk about it. Be productive with this. This is not about, just having controversy just for the sake of this. Is you have to be some type of productivity have to come out of this situation. RIP Jerry Springer. Y'all need to be borrowing what Jerry Springer did. The most successful time period y'all had in WWE, especially with a lot of this stuff going on now where people say men can have babies and all that. Don't get me wrong. Some of this stuff be too wacky for TV, but they need to take the internet drama and that people and turn this stuff into storylines. How ironic. And I tweeted this out. I think this is the most productive storyline WWE can come out with this. All of this stuff that they're saying about Vince, bring back Jonathan Coachman, who's a great heel that worked for WWE, had all the great segments with The Rock. Coach, who? Bring back Jonathan Coachman and have him be the kind of the proxy for Vince and have him kind of backstage being a douchebag to the writers, and this builds up to a big match with maybe somebody like John Cena at SummerSlam. You might as well make money off this. Monetize the controversy. I guarantee you this storyline will bring more eyeballs to WWE than anything that they have planned for the rest of the year. Anything they've done in the last 10 years. Because the problem with their product is too insular focused and people don't get it. They get mad when, you don't get the joke. No, we don't get your dumb inside joke. You need to write culturally relevant storylines that get actual human emotion and vitriolic responses out of people. Nobody's going to buy into this crap that they don't care about. Don't nobody care about all this anime stuff. That you could get away with that in Japan. Anime is not mainstream in the United States. Y'all need to get that out of y'all head. Stop having all these women with this multicolored hair. People don't get that stuff. No man wants to sleep. Very few men want to sleep with these women, with the exception of Tegan Knox and probably Toni Storm. It's not a lot of attractive women with anime character. And Oscar, that's about it. It's like 300 of these women. Only about 1% of them are desirable. Get this crap out of there. RIP to Jerry Springer. God bless y'all families. Catch us tomorrow for this awful draft. We're going to try to make sense out of it because I'm pretty sure it's going to be garbage. But especially a Triple H regime book it. But God bless y'all family. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.